saying, well, what if then? All right, then you shouldn't be an entrepreneur. Straight up, you get what if, dude. I'm already 10 steps ahead of you, dude.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll see you in like 30, 40 minutes. Okay, cool. I see it. My take on interviews now is we want it to be more documentary style. We want to make sure there's no scripted questions, create something more inspiring for you guys. I'm excited to see Randall because he's had all odds against him his whole life, and he used that as fuel. Didn't have a roadmap, didn't have mentors, didn't have a strategy or a structure, and made it happen. And I think he has a lot to share with our audience, with millennials, and with people that are looking to start a business, to get out of the 9-to-5, people that can't stand what they do. He's someone that made it happen on his own terms.
Would you guys come around this way? What's up, dude?
See, man.
Good to see you, man.
Came right here, and then we just came around. I don't know where your office was. This is the spot. This is dope.
Yeah, it's like nice and open.
So your office is the same place as your headquarters. That's dope. See, that's smart. Let me get my bag.
Yeah, so everything is literally in-house. Like we don't book out photo studios anymore. We do everything here. Product shots, everything.
You know what impressed me that I saw last night, a video is you're shooting.
Oh,
you're shooting.
Yeah.
You come in
You're
doing everything.
Yeah, I had to, you know.
That's badass, though.
You do a startup, man. You got to do everything yourself.
Yep.
Man, show like you said, you know. I don't know where it is, but with the hood too. Oh, here it is. This one's sick. This one's already out. It's got custom hood right there. Lift it on the back. All tailored and cut now, so it's not like super big like you're wearing hockey pads.
See ya.
What up?
It's my boy Randall, CEO of LiftFit, one of the up-and-coming, thriving CEOs, and has a brand that's just blowing up. So I'm excited to interview him and really take his wisdom and guidance and give you guys some value. So let's go. One of the reasons I wanted to connect, man, and people were asking before, why are you so excited about this interview? It's because A, you came from nothing, B, everything was against you, and you said that you really didn't have mentors. You just had so much ammo and so much fuel and so much ambition because everyone's telling you can't amount to much, you have tattoos, you can't do this, you can't do that. Mm-hmm. What role did people hating on you or doubting you play in your success?
I mean, I used it all as fuel, you know, as much as you want to block it out. You always kind of like think about that stuff. It's always in like the back of your head, you know? But you don't focus on it to the point where it's going to drag you down. You're like, you know what? I mean, who are you to say that I can't do this? You know what I'm saying? I have my own choices. I'm going to make it my own thing, you know? Like, I feel like I have more motivation than you. You know, all you're doing is just hating, not believing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen people do this shit. I've seen, you know, the guys right next to me go from 0 to 100. You know, I'm like, dude, I'm going to be the next dude. So if you guys want to hate, I'm going to prove you guys wrong, you know?
Was there any person or comments that stuck with you that really hit you home when they're like, you know, because your tattoo's blank or because you came from this area blank? Was there any that you remember that like drove you, or was it just a combination?
You know what's funny? It's not really a particular thing that I remember, and it's funny that you bring that up now. I think for me, the comments and stuff actually came from my parents.
Interesting.
Believe it or not, yeah. Not from like strangers here.
Some people are gonna relate to that though.
Yeah, so I mean, coming from an Asian background, I was like, you know, first off, no tattoos or you're out of the family. Okay, I got tattoos, like shit, you know.
Are you sure?
You know, and next thing you know, started doing, you know, obviously I went to school for a little bit and almost finished and then dropped out and then, you know, started doing business at the time. And just trying to prove my parents, like, dude, I can make it without these judgments, and, you know, I can make it with tattoos, I can make it being a minority. It's a different day and age that we live in, you know. I was like, it ain't the same, and it's hard to tell your parents that because they're like, they're old school. They're like, you know, 2 decades back. They're like, you know, you got to go to school, you got to do this, you got to become a doctor, you got to be a lawyer or whatever the fuck you know, that type of profession. I'm just like, nah, man, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing a completely different realm of things, you know. People starting businesses when they're young, people doing music and making it big, and especially out of Long Beach, you know, we had like Snoop, Nate Dogg, all the DPG, and a bunch of other local artists now that doing it big. Sublime came out of there, a bunch of pro skaters. I'm like around that shit. but that
You're
is
seeing
not,
all this success from people that are being authentic and being
exactly,
themselves.
exactly. So, and to like my parents and my uncles and, our older generation, they're just like, that's just movie talk, Hollywood talk.
Yep.
I'm like, nah, how you gonna tell me? I seen it.
One of the things I love about this new economy is you can be fully yourself and become successful, be a millionaire. 20, 30 years ago, suit and tie, certain businesses, you have to wait 40 years. I love that we could just vibe in whatever outfit we want. I don't like wearing suits. I wore suits, I don't like it, I wanna be authentic, and it's just the best feeling ever to have an economy where you could be yourself.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter who's judging you, if you wanna make it happen, you can make it happen if you have the drive and hustle.
Exactly.
That's huge. Exactly. So for you, what I want to get at too is people always ask you, how'd you become so successful? How'd you build this company to over $1 million? And there's not really an exact answer. I think there's a lot of people waiting for the perfect time or the perfect things to be laid out and structured. Talk about coming up and how you got here. You can't really have a guideline.
There was never really a structure. Everything I did, I'll tell you this, everything I did, I put 110% into it. Timing, whatever, there was no right time. You just have to do it. You have to choose your own right time, whatever. It can be.
You said it's still not a right time.
It's still not a right time right now. I'm just making moves. As long as you're making moves and making progress, you're in the momentum and you're just going 110% in, you're going to be better than you are yesterday. You're going to succeed better you're going to make progress. Things are going to grow naturally. And like when I started with my first few clothing lines, I was like 15 years old. I was in a band, had a clothing line on the side, but I was like, fuck, I'm all in, dude. Like I was so zoned out in this shit. And being all zoned out and wanting to pursue like the band and making just dope clothing, you had to deal with the business logistics of where to go to get this shirts printed. Who do I go for this? How do I get the blanks, or how do I get this made? You do that subconsciously, but you're looking forward to the band part, to the final product. So, I did that when I was like 15 to 17, 18. That didn't fall through, but in my head, I knew all that stuff prior, the business logistics of it. Yeah. So then when I went on to college, I studied kinesiology. I started personal training. I blew that business up, personal training in Bally's for a little bit, Bally's Total Fitness corporate. Then I created my own private training business within another facility, No Limits. And then I ran that and then started making, at that point, I was still 110% in that as well. Then I started making t-shirts and stuff for my clients because I already knew the logistics of where to go get the shirts printed and all that.
From your last business.
From my last business, and designing and all that stuff all myself. Went 110% in, and I'll tell you this right now, there was no structure to this. I'm just like,
People need to hear that though.
Yeah, no structure. I'm just doing this because it's making progress. My clients want a shirt, I'm gonna make a shirt. There was no structure, umbrella for that. As a personal trainer, you don't have to do that, right? But I just chose to do it because it was, number one, it was cool for my client. Number two, it's an extra stream of revenue, So I started doing that, and then one design after the other, it started snowballing into a clothing line. And then I saw the potential, when I started putting this stuff up online on the e-commerce platform, then you start getting money when you sleep. The whole e-commerce game is different. It's crazy.
Even from 10 or 15 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Direct to consumer now.
Yeah. So right now, I don't even have to go to a store. I'm just selling. At this point, when I was training, selling clothes, I was having a good time, making a good living, personal training, selling clothes, until the clothing side just got overwhelming to where the time for me to ship, package, design, to do all that stuff overwhelmed the personal training business. I had to let go of that, told my clients, handed them off to my other trainers that were working for me at the time, and then focused 150% on this clothing business, and then that it really took off from there.
But you wouldn't have seen the success in LiveFit if you didn't fail at the other businesses. So you don't really see them as failures. They were stepping stones in a way.
Right.
People don't realize. So you had some failures beforehand, but you didn't see it as a failure. You're like, I learned some things here. I sharpened my perspective here. Now I know what not to do. Now I know how to do these certain things in business. Now I'm going to blow this shit up at the highest level.
Yep.
That's kind of how it was.
Exactly. And I always keep my mind open too. I don't know where this is leading me to as well, right? You see, it just progress after progress after progress. No matter what though, I'm putting 200% in this until something else pops up.
You guys are growing quick. And you were even saying before, there's hiring things that you're figuring out. People see from the outside, they see your social media, they see like your company crushing it. Are things perfect right now?
Things are definitely not perfect. It's never going to be perfect. Yeah. We're definitely going through some growing pains right now, putting in people in the right places, because as a startup, people that you hire, you don't have any experience, with real business stuff, with HR, accounting, who to choose for your CPA, who to choose for your attorneys, for trademark attorneys, PR attorney, or any of that stuff. You don't know this shit. You have to go through the flow, and that goes with every department. The warehouse downstairs, for distribution, for customer service, to wholesale. We're just still fine-tuning the all that logistics, and it all comes down to the people, So we're going through hiring and restructuring.
But the same thing at the beginning, adapting and adjusting.
Yep.
Not letting up, continuing to go all in, continue to grind and hustle, and figure things out on the way.
Yep.
I just did a video yesterday. People are just waiting to have certainty of what's next before they start. You don't have the certainty of what's going to happen in 6 months.
Yeah.
You have to continue to adapt and adjust, find the right people.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I think if you want to be in entrepreneurship, you're always gonna you always have to know that it's always a risk. Okay, it's always a risk. And if you keep saying, well, what if, then all right, then you shouldn't be an entrepreneur. Straight up, you get what if, dude. I'm already 10 steps ahead of you, dude. See you later. Your competition already killed you. You know what I'm saying? Like, this day and age, you just got to go. And then once you go, you find the right people to trail right behind you and pick up where you need to be. You know what I'm saying?
So your best hire. So you said you were doing everything yourself. You were overwhelmed a little bit. You were doing everything from packaging to the designs to the video shooting to the editing to the marketing.
Everything, yeah.
Do you remember your first key hire that you were like, oh, some weight off my shoulders?
Oh yeah, I hired my friend actually, Chu Lin. She helped me grow the business, and as far as like organizing it and keeping the paper trail. She came from Apple. I pulled her from Apple, and so she gave me a lot of corporate structure in the back end, inventory counting, SKUs and all that stuff too, and how to track everything like that, So that gave me a real big push, so I can not stress on the business.
So it wasn't really a name for her. It was just like she was a partner.
Yeah, dude. She's like, oh, people would ask, oh, what do you do for the company? We're like, dude, we're disposition, maybe assistant, I don't know.
I love hearing this because I work with so many startups and people, and they're just like, well, I got to get these 7 positions filled with the perfect. It's like, no, you don't. Just take some action.
Still to this day, we have probably 30 employees. Some of them have a job title, but the high executives were like, dude, I can be this, I can be this, I can be this, I can be this. As long as we get the machine moving, fuck it. You don't need a name for this, because that's going to stunt your growth. I've seen and heard people ask, like, oh, do I need like a controller or a CFO? I'm like, no, dude, just fucking get your finances straight and make sure you're good,
Bring value to the consumer. Yeah. Whatever you have, give it to them and see if they like it.
Yeah, exactly.
So what do you tell the young hustler that really relates to you and really relates to entrepreneurship, but they have still a lot of people judging them?
If you have that doubt, and you have you got to figure out how to conquer that, because if not, then you are honestly not made for entrepreneurship, Because I'm sure you experience it too, every entrepreneur you're gonna get hated. Everything sounds fake.
It's a fact,
Everything sounds fake because we're living the life the movies fucking talk about, So, from an outsider perspective, it's like, man, this fool's like, he's selling drugs. Man, fuck, his mom bought that car. Like, nah, dude, we worked for it, And it's
100%. I hear stories too of people that are young hustlers that go in to buy something and they're judged, whether it's a car in cash, whether it's jewelry, whether it's certain things, a house, and that's still going on.
Yeah.
So it's important to stay true to yourself and know yourself to where nothing can affect your mental toughness or your state of mind.
Exactly.
That's huge.
But one thing too that I learned along the way, you cannot, I don't want to say, you can get tattoos and just be a fucking whatever, go out there and say, yeah, I'm gonna be a fucking the best entrepreneur there is. There's limitations, because you can have tattoos and still have manners and still talk well and still communicate well, and that's what I learned through personal training. I had tattoos as a trainer, but I'm training doctors, surgeons, lawyers. Those were my clients, professionals, older and younger. So I had to learn how to speak with them.
And they respected you because you were polite and
exactly.
genuine.
Forget the tattoos. This is different now. I'm training them. I'm communicating with them. So you got to break down the red wall. It's like take down their offense first, and then get to know them. And then you bring that value to just the regular business world, because it's universal now. Tattoos and stuff don't matter. It's all about how you communicate, that first impression, I
like that. So let's talk a little tactics about social media too, because you really have blown that up the last couple of years, and you've done a lot of business through it, and you've not only done business, but you've added value. You're inspiring people. You're showing people not to give up. So and I don't even know if I should ask about tactics because you like to just hustle and grind, but any tactics, any advice you would give the entrepreneur that's trying to build the social media? Maybe they have a product, maybe they don't, but what's kind of your mindset with social media?
I tell everyone in the beginning, just try to knock it out the park in your local community first. You know, I mean, obviously use social media, but use it within local community to where you can actually go to whoever you're going to be connecting with, and you know, so where you can get a photo with them or whatever. Because when I did it prior, I was personal training, so everything I did it, you know, locally.
At a local level,
yeah. I didn't care because I couldn't train someone outside of the state or something. So I tell everyone focus locally because that's going to create a bigger buzz. Everyone knows it's real, you know, because within the local community you can, you know, ask amongst each other if whatever's going on is real or not. Once you start doing that, then it's kind of like a snowball effect because you got the people that believe in your product or movement or service. They're going to talk real about you because word of mouth is still stronger than social media, you know. But nowadays everyone has a social media, so once the word of mouth goes a little viral, they're going to put it up on their social media, and it's just going to spread like fire. You know?
So consistency too. Do you have people sending you stuff and posting? Is it specifically, okay, send me 5 videos a week, send me these photos and pictures, or is it more your style where it's just you post when you want?
It was a combination of both. We tried the whole structure thing and give me 5, and then I was just like, nah, it's not gonna work. No way.
Do not give Randall structure.
Yeah. Now I'm just like,
people want to hear that though.
I got my guy Miguel. He's like the media director. I'm just like texting him, hey, send me this, send me this, send me this. You know.
What I like though that you said in one of your videos that you, at the beginning, you were doing a lot of testing and experimentation. I think people are waiting for things to be perfect. You were testing on social media. What design do you like? You were getting feedback from your customers, from your fans, and then adapting and adjusting from their feedback.
Yeah.
That's huge. Not many people are doing that.
Yeah, and that's how you start a startup with minimal capital. People are like, oh, how did you only start with $300? Because I didn't fucking invest $5,000 in like 10 t-shirt designs that I didn't know were gonna sell or not. I bought one shirt design, maybe like a couple, like 100 shirts, and that cost me like $300. And then if it sold, it sold. If it didn't, it didn't. But good thing it sold. And then that told me it's better to sell out than sit on inventory. So if it sells out, you know it's on demand. Okay, I got time to make some more. Just hold on, guys, and then put another one up, and then they're gonna sell again. Versus, putting fucking a shitload up and you're like waiting.
At that moment when you had those shirts, did you picture and visualize having a 30,000 square foot warehouse with an amazing office space like this, with a place to shoot and all kinds of stuff? Did you imagine that?
No. It's funny. Everyone asked me that too. I was like, man, I'm gonna be successful. I just, you could just walk over there real quick. It's
Hey,
like
this interview's authentic. We're not editing this.
It's a ghost. No, it's all censored light. But yeah, I just knew I was gonna be somewhat successful. I just couldn't see it, you know?
So let's end on this, and then we're gonna do a tour. What's the advice? Maybe what would you tell your younger self, 18, 19 years old, if you were looking at him, and let's relate it to the audience. What's the one piece of advice that you want people to take with them when they stop watching this interview? They're gonna be fired up and excited, but sometimes people don't know what action to take. What's the one thing you'll tell them, what you'd tell yourself at a younger age?
Oh, that's perfect. I mean, so every time let's say I took myself out of my shoes and I was watching an interview, I was like, all right, I had the situation in my head. I'm waiting for them to answer it, right? Don't wait for me to answer it. Just go do it. That thing, because everyone's thinking when they're watching these motivational video or whatever interview, they have a business in their head, or they have this should I do this or not? And they're waiting for the answer coming out of whoever is talking. Like, don't wait. After this shit's done, go fucking do it. Just go do it.
You heard it first. Once again, I appreciate you. Thanks for the legacy you're building, and much respect. You're a hustler, and I look forward to continue building our relationship.
Sweet.
We interview only hustlers, only the real deal people that came from nothing.